Hey, I'm Danny with Pelagic Power, and I wanted to go through the power system that we just finished on this 1978 Uniflight. This is a really special boat, 47 years old, getting close to the 50 mark, second owner. The owner bought it in 1981, and it's had a ton of fish caught on it, and more importantly, a ton of memories. They've upgraded everything on this boat, from engines, added in a Seakeeper, and then just recently upgraded power systems to a full lithium power system with Mastervolt through us at Pelagic Power. Wanted to walk you through that today. Let's go check it out. We're here on the 1978 Uniflight, deep inside the boat, actually going to walk through the power system that we just finished. This is a full lithium iron phosphate based power system utilizing Mastervolt MLI Ultras, and it's a very cool comprehensive system that works intelligently for real world applications. So first we have a start charger. Because our start batteries and our house batteries are isolated with lithium, we have a dedicated start charger charging the start batteries. As we move across here, we actually have an emergency parallel that's special for this owner. In situations where they do need to crank the engine with the house bank, we can actually do that because MLI Ultras have that capability. Remote battery switching for inverter, for house bank, for generator, all of that is being controlled through Blue Sea Systems MLRBSs. Circuit protection for various things, busing for various things, all kind of going across the top. We have the anchor winch is actually powered off the house bank now because lithium is able to do that. And of course, the Mac Daddy part of the system is the MLI Ultra 12-6000s. This boat has two, so over 12,000 watt hours of power coming from two batteries. They're only 100 pounds apiece, so we have 200 pounds of lithium in this boat. That was replacing over 600 pounds of house bank on the AGM side and getting dramatically more power. You can see the top of those batteries have safety relays. That's controlled by the batteries themselves. Can take them offline if there is an issue. Of course, safety is the #1 priority. And then of course we have an Inverter-Charger. This is what's powering this boat on the AC side. So this is a 3000 watt 12 volt Inverter-Charger, up to 160 amps of charging, 3000 watts of inverting. This boat has a residential refrigerator, so it's always being inverted in order to be able to run that fridge all night. Without the generator running, they needed to upgrade to lithium. And now this boat can do over 14 hours of continuous runtime with every load on, bait pumps, inverter, lights, underwater lights, stereo, the whole nine, over 14 hours with just two of these batteries. Everything is integrated, everything is communicating via Masterbus so that the batteries can safely disconnect charging sources, disconnect themselves, control different devices. That's the beauty of the Masterbus system. All right, we're still on the 78 Uniflight and we're finishing up the Mastervolt power system. Wanted to show you the monitoring aspect of this system. So this is the house bank information. We can see state of charge, time remaining, voltage, amperage coming in and out of batteries, temperature of the batteries, and if the relays on top of them are open or closed. So like I said before, this boat with almost everything running has an immensely long runtime, which is what the owners wanted so that they could go generator free all night, but still have live wells going, refrigerators going. We are simulating that right now. We don't have the stereo on, so we could shoot the video, but everything else is on the boat, and you can see we have 22 hours of runtime on this boat, which is exceptional, well more than the overnight requirement. And again, just two batteries able to do that. And as current changes and things are happening, that time will update in real time and always be accurate because it's coming directly out of the batteries. We're not interpreting this through an auxiliary shunt, which is a really nice aspect of the Mastervolt MLI Ultras. This screen has everything else in the system, so we can see our inverter is on, but the charger is off because we're off of shore power right now because we're simulating an anchoring situation. We go to the next page, we can see the inverter output information, 120 volts AC, the wattage that the inverter is putting out, how much power the inverter is drawing off the battery. We can actually do inverter and charger control. We can digitally turn it on and off here as well. Our start charger information, the charger is obviously off because we have no shore gen right now. Again, we can control that digitally. Then we have our DC to DCs, which we're going to show you in a minute. These allow us to take power off the alternators and charge the house bank safely using a lithium charging profile. So we have a starboard DC to DC. Input voltage is from the start bank, output is to the house bank, and then we have a port with identical information. Those are not running right now because the engines are not on. And so the entire system is communicating together to work optimally to get that perfect runtime and a very automated, simple system for the owner to use. All right, we're still on the 78 Uniflight, almost done, and we're going to show you the engine room and how we're actually taking power off the engine battery and the alternators to charge the lithium house bank, even though they're technically isolated. So we do that with DC to DC chargers, and in the Mastervolt world, that's called the Mac Plus. Each of these units is 50 amps capable. So you can see we have starboard and we have port. That's attached to the single starting battery that this boat has, but we have twin engines, so we have more than enough alternator power. So with each of them capable of 50 amps, we're going to be able to draw up to 100 amps off the alternators and actually charge the lithium bank safely and communicative with the lithium batteries, and we don't have to change alternators. We don't have to change regulators. We didn't even have to touch the start batteries. We just had to wire the Mac Pluses into the existing start battery. So that's a great way to get a complete charging system, both AC and DC charging with isolated battery banks without having to do a bunch of engine work, which I know a lot of people are hesitant of. And you can see with the communication cables, all of this is communicating in the Masterbus network and feeding that little room that we were down before. All right, we're finishing up our tour of the 1978 Uniflight power systems installation, powered by Mastervolt, done by us, Pelagic Power. So this owner has a flybridge in the boat, and they have a lot of SIMRADs up here, and they wanted all that great power system information on the MFDs that they already have. Fortunately, with Mastervolt and Masterbus and a little interface, we can transmit all that information onto NEMA 2000 and get it in these MFDs. So you can see all the power systems and house bank information plus inverter information right here on a custom screen we did for the power system. So you see state of charge of the house bank, the voltage, the current coming out of the house bank. We're replicating an anchoring situation with full bait pumps running right now, and how much time we have left. Over 16 hours of runtime, more than enough to go to sleep and wake up with confidence, make a cup of coffee in the Keurig, and then go back to running your generator. Also getting our start battery information, so we always know we can crank our engines. And then we have the amount of AC watts coming out of the inverter that's actively powering AC devices on the boat right now. All valuable information that's in the flybridge at their fingertips on the MFDs they already own, and they don't have to run downstairs to look at any special monitors. So this was a really fun installation, complete package boat. They're gonna have great time on this boat, catching fish, making more memories, and they have the confidence of a lithium-based power system. Give us a call if you want to talk about doing something like this on your boat. Thank you.